Welcome to Comedy Global. I'm Anjana, and let's know about a new security challenge in Kashmir, the targeted killings. The new security problem for the Jammu and Kashmir administration and the center is targeted attacks on members of the minority population and non-natives. The attacks, according to observers, are a result of anxieties of demographic shift as a result of the removal of Article 370, which prohibited outsiders from residing in Kashmir. Such anxieties have been fueled by an increasing sense of disempowerment after Jammu and Kashmir lost its statehood and came under direct central authority. Since June 2018, Jammu and Kashmir has been under central administration, and the centre's announcement in the Union Territory, notably the new domicile law, have stoked such anxieties. Targeted killings began soon after the Article 370 repeal on August 5, 2019. A new militant group, the Resistance Front (TRF), which police believes is Lashkar-e-Taiba in disguise, has claimed most attacks apart from Jaish-e-Mohammed. The first incident of targeted killings happened a month after Jammu and Kashmir lost its statehood and came under direct central rule. 5 Muslims from West Bengal were shot dead by militants in South Kashmir. In January 2020, jeweler Satpal Nischal was shot dead at his shop at Saraibala in Srinagar, weeks after he was certified as a domicile of Jammu and Kashmir. The TRF, in a statement, called Nischal an RSS agent who was part of the settler colonial project. The Nischals had migrated from Pakistani Punjab to Indian Punjab in 1947 and then moved to Kashmir in the 1980s and opened a jewelry shop in Srinagar. 2 months later, Akash Mehra, son of the owner of a popular eatery in Srinagar, was also shot dead. The Mehras hail from Jammu. In October last year, ML Bindru, a Kashmiri Pandit and owner of the prominent Bindru pharmacy at Hafchinar Iqbal Park in Srinagar, was shot dead at his shop. His killing prompted outrage from politicians and civil society. The TRF had called Bindru an RSS agent. Hours later, a non-native Golgappa seller from Bihar was fired at Lal Bazar in Srinagar. The next day, Supinder Kaur, principal of Government Higher Secondary School Sangam in Srinagar's Eidgah area, and her colleague Deepak Chand were shot dead in the school. Kaur, a Sikh, was a resident of Srinagar's Aluchi Bagh area, and Chand was a resident of Jammu. The security forces rounded up many for questioning, but the attacks continued. More attacks on non-natives left another 4 non-local workers dead in the same month. Kashmir attracts more than 4 lakh migrant laborers and skilled laborers from Punjab, UP, West Bengal and Bihar. Most leave before the onset of winter. On April 4th, Bal Krishan, a Kashmiri Pandit, was killed by suspected militants near his home in Chautigam, Shopian. More targeted attacks left another 3 non-native laborers injured. On May 12th, Rahul Bhatt, a Kashmiri Pandit employed under the Prime Minister's rehabilitation package announced by the Congress-led UPA government for migrant Kashmiri Pandits, was shot dead at the Tehsil office at Chadur in Budgam. His killing created panic among migrant Kashmir Pandits working in Kashmir. In a written response to a query in Parliament in March 2021, the Ministry of Home Affairs reported that almost 3,800 migrant candidates had returned to Kashmir in recent years to take up government positions under the PM's package out of 6,000 sanctioned posts. According to the report, 520 migrant candidates returned to Kashmir to take up such professions after Article 370 was repealed. The government of J&K has set up secure residential camps for migrant workers, but many have hired private housing because the government is unable to accommodate everyone. Bhatt's killing sparked fierce protests by migrant employees. The government tried to calm the situation by announcing a slew of measures for migrant employees, like posting at secure locations, and said issues related to promotions and preparation of seniority lists were to be addressed within 3 weeks. The government also directed the Deputy Commissioner and Senior Superintendent of Police to carry out the assessment of accommodation for migrant employees. The assurances didn't impress the agitating migrant Kashmir Pandit employees who were demanding relocation. To prevent the migrant employees from fleeing Kashmir, the J&K government ordered the deployment of police outside the migrant employees' camps. Many people evacuated Kashmir, though fearful for their lives, after the killings of Rajani Bala, a female teacher from Samba in Jammu, on May 31st in Kulgam in South Kashmir, and Vijay Kumar, the manager of Ilaki Dehati Bank from Rajasthan. 3 days later in the same area, more people have decided to leave Kashmir. Kumar was from the state of Rajasthan. 2 factory laborers in Budgan, central Kashmir, were shot at hours after he was killed. In the hospital, one of them died from his injuries. The administration as well as the minority community and non-natives have been shaken by the targeted attacks. Home Minister Amit Shah held a meeting with NSA Ajit Doval and the RAW chief to discuss the situation in Kashmir. The centre has decided to advance the deployment of the remaining 200 of 350 companies of parliamentary forces for the security of Amarnath Yatra starting June 30th for 43 days. Targeted killings have not only been restricted to migrant employees and non-natives, but also J&K policemen and political workers. Recently, video artist Ambareen Bhatt was shot dead in her house at Budgam. Her family has no idea why she was targeted. Security forces, especially the police, are grappling with this new challenge in Kashmir. Identifying such militant operatives is proving difficult. Pistols are used for such killings and they are easier to obtain, unlike AK-47 rifles. Observers believe that the BJP's policy to marginalize the separatist leadership like the Hurriyat Conference and mainstream politicians has left it alone to face the flak. The centre leaned on both opposite camps in trying times. This is Anjana signing off. Do like and share this video. For further updates, subscribe to Kaumudi Global.